Good afternoon, everyone. Today is the 24th of June, 2023, and welcome back as in 2 days' time, the school will resume in term 3, 2023. So today we have a good turnout here. We have 10 students. One is coming in soon. So this is a very interesting topic because it's related to our current day lives. As you know that the Earth is being subjected to various challenges in global warming and in air pollution, noise pollution, and different types of pollution. So today we study man's impact on the environment. So for short is MIOE, man's impact on the environment. Okay, do you know what is the pollution standard index? Okay, standard index is used in many countries, including Singapore, where the National Environmental Agencies, NEA, use this to measure the amount of pollutants in the air. So let me screen share a NEA website to instill more understanding in this. So you can see this is the NEA website. And interestingly, you can see there's this table, which I'm going to enlarge. You can see the 24 hours PSI forecast on health advisory. So definitely the lower the number is better. So from 0 to 50, PSI is good. That's when the air quality is good, where all these activities can be performed. Okay, usually perhaps Singapore in an industrial society, in the city, usually we hit between 50 to 100. And the country areas further from the city, we have 0 to 50. But we seldom hit below 30, unless you go to those mountainous area like what you see in my background, the mountainous area there. But we have hit between 101 to 200. That is the unhealthy levels. Okay, how are these unhealthy levels being caused by? Of course, it's being caused by pollutants in the air. For example, in heavy industries, or perhaps your neighboring countries burn huge amount of fossil fuel. And sometimes this fossil fuel can be like forest fire or other pollutants. Okay, do you know that Singapore has ever reached the hazardous levels? The hazardous level means it threatens the health of people or individuals, and also those people with respiratory problems like asthma. They become more uncomfortable. They may need to be hospitalized. Elderly people whose respiratory functions is not performing well. So indeed, Singapore, if you check the website, you go and search 2015 haze in Singapore. So this haze is actually caused by the huge forest fire in Kalimantan and Sumatra back then. So this is just a quick preview of what is PSI. So coming back to the questions, so the answer is 2, because it asks which of the following are likely to cause an increase in the pollutant standard index, which is PSI for short. So definitely, as I mentioned, forest fire is one of them. And of course, D. Okay, some students, they may ask me, how come not C? Okay, C is cutting down. They did not say burning. Okay, cutting down of trees, they will reduce the rate of photosynthesis. Less trees will be available for photosynthesis, but this will not increase the PSI index. Okay, unless they say burning of trees or burning of forest. Clear? Okay, next, question 12. Which of the following are the pupils likely to observe in a pond after 1 week? Okay, notice, I want you to circle this part, the waste pipe. Okay, because waste pipe will infuse toxic chemicals into the pond. Although in pond X, there's a layer of oil, but this layer of oil is only covering this surface. Notice there are aquatic plants here, which are able to produce oxygen in the presence of sunlight. So the answer is 2 in pond Z, because pond Z, this fish will die soon. So that's why pond X will contain more fish than pond Z after 1 week. Okay, this fish means the fish that are alive. Okay, next, 13. Okay, 13, Okay, don't worry. For those of you who have not learned on this topic, man's impact on the environment, you will see that in my teaching, you will gradually pick up the important concepts. Okay, most schools actually, they have done a quick review or quick introduction before the June holiday. Okay, so if you attend my lesson without learning this in school, it's actually a good head start. So always think in the positive manner. Okay, so no worries, Hao Xuan. Okay, next 13. Use plastic. Can you see this one? Use plastic can be used for building houses and furniture. Which of the following are likely result from this? Okay, of course, is 4. Okay, the reason because plastic is actually manufactured by using crude oil underground. So if you use less plastic, right, you will definitely use less oil from the ground. So answer is 4, which is B, C, and D. Okay, many of this plastic that we use, if they are improperly disposed, they can cause water pollution in the sea. Eventually, the sea animal may choke on the plastic. Okay, notice these 4 questions. I've discussed 3. They can be modified to be tested in OEQ. So they may ask you the reason behind all this. So for example, in the first one I mentioned, why cutting down trees will not increase PSI? Because cutting does not involve any burning. Yeah. Okay. PSI will only increase if you burn something or you produce smoke or infuse like poisonous gases into the air. And this one, as I mentioned, photosynthesis can help these plants to produce oxygen, so the fish in pond X can survive a longer period than those in Z. And similar for this. Okay, this one, quite interestingly, they say that the food waste, because you know Singapore is actually wasting a lot of food. Like you can't finish the food in the restaurant, or those big companies that they sell bakery, they can't finish, they throw away. Sometimes they may donate to other charity organizations. So they say, which of the following are likely the results from reducing food wastage? Okay, the result from reducing food wastage. So we will use less land to bury waste, and also less waste gases released in the air. Because when food is actually considered organic material, when they decompose, they'll release gases into the air. Okay. Okay, next we move on to the open-ended questions. Okay, garbage mountains. I'm not sure whether are you aware what are garbage mountain. So I'd like you to take a quick look at this garbage mountain scenario here. You can see here, this part. I'm going to turn on the sound so that you can hear the narration in this interview in Mumbai. Mumbai is actually a big city in India. They have this garbage mountain interview over here.
Always busy, always bustling. Mumbai is a city on the move. Home to factories, industry, 21 million people, and a lot of rubbish. It generates 10,000 metric tons of waste a day. Problem is, there's no real way to get rid of it. Much of it ends up here at the Devnar dumping ground on the edge of the city.
There's so much garbage over here. It smells really bad, and to be honest, it's quite hard to breathe. And if you look at this hill behind me, this isn't actually a hill. It's 90 years of accumulated garbage.
From ground level, it's as high as a 10-story building.
This was a wetland swamp. There were beautiful mangroves and...
This area was once green?
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Now activists say it's a national embarrassment and a hazard. Part of the dump recently caught fire, a fire so big with so much smoke, it was visible from space.
So you see the rubbish, dry rubbish, they can caught fire. This is a satellite image. You can see the smoke is spreading over this large area. This is a satellite image. So from here to here, easily the smoke perhaps drifted like 250 kilometers away.
You see the sun today, this man asks me. He lives across the dumping ground. That day, you couldn't see it. It was all black.
Why does this area catch fire?
See, I mean, if you look around over here, the materials are clearly combustible. This
Yeah.
is mixed waste. You're seeing a lot of plastic, a lot of combustible material over there. And once it has baked in the sun, it is completely dried.
Yeah.
Then it becomes absolutely right for being a fire to start.
He says Devnar should have been shut years ago. We asked the head of the local city council what her plans for the dumping ground are. She said they've ramped up a citywide cleanliness campaign and started diverting some of the waste to another area. But the ultimate goal?
To scientifically cover the dump or to remove it or biomine, So for that, we are in the process of, finalizing the tenders and the people with whom we will be working.
She admits that could take a while. As India continues to project itself as a growing superpower, dumps like these are eyesores that critics say contradict its ambitious message. Malika Kapoor, CNN, Mumbai.
Just a quick look at this garbage mountain. So they can cause a fire, especially when the weather is hot. So let's see this part, right? State 1 negative impact on garbage mountain. So there can be more than one possible answer here. You can see that it can cause potential fires, especially when the garbage contains, just now the person said combustible material. Combustible material means material that catches fire easily. So this is one possible answer. You can mention, okay, this is quite general. So you can say they can pollute the land, water, or air if they are not properly disposed of. Okay, can you see here? They can catch fire easily. As explained during the interview just now. And also can cause landslide during rainy weather. Okay, imagine just now they mentioned the garbage mountain is as high as 10 story. So if you go below your block, right, imagine how high the rubbish is, like 10-story high mountain. Okay, next, Singapore has another approach. In Singapore and some countries, right, the waste is burned before being disposed of and buried in a landfill. Okay, because in Mumbai, just now you saw, right, they don't have a proper place to dispose of. They just pile out the thing, right, rubbish. But Singapore did one thing before they bury the thing, they burn it. Because as you burn rubbish, right, become ash, the volume decreases. Okay, so in terms of burying, you save the land spaces. So I will show you another YouTube video about this part. Just hang on, and I try to reload. Okay, this is a production in Singapore. Talk about the Pulau Semakau Island. It's an island off Singapore. They use for landfills. So sit back and relax this video documentary.
I'm going to show you, it's going to blow your mind like it blow mine. Singaporeans never really think of rubbish because all the while we are so used to having clean environment. Not much rubbish everywhere. It's all taken care of. For particularly me, I worry about the waste that they generate. Semakau landfill is like, imagine like a bowl. Like, okay, take your rubbish like rice, you slowly put in a bit, you have a full out. Then you got no place to put. Then we had to start looking for another landfill. Hi, I'm Lian Ming. I manage the transfer of waste from the main island of Singapore to the Semakau landfill. As part of my job, I oversee the operation and maintenance of our barging and the landfill equipment by our contractors. So how did the rubbish end up in Semakau? This is how. After we throw a rubbish, it actually will be collected by our waste collector and be transported to one of the waste-to-energy plant where they'll be incinerated. After incineration, the ash will be transported and we will barge it here to Semakau landfill.
Okay, so you see here that this is an ash after being incinerated. So they'll use this very big tractor, right, to transfer the landfill. Okay, the landfill is actually covered with water, as you can see here shortly.
And you'll be dumped at one of the cells. The biggest cell is equivalent to 6,700 Olympic
Okay, the biggest cell equivalent to 6,700 Olympic size swimming pool.
size swimming pool. Each cell is actually fully enclosed so that the water won't flow out into the sea. In Singapore, we have actually 4 waste-to-energy plants, but we only have 1 landfill. If I don't do my work, the whole operation for waste disposal in Singapore collection will be affected. Because of that, we operate every day, including the public holiday. A lot of Singaporeans never heard of Semakau because they don't really bother where the waste go. For people who know that we have a landfill, they always think that our landfill is always smelly, dirty. It's quite different if they ever come here. Most of the greenery in Semakau is very natural. They are brought by the wind or the birds. When I first came here, I'm quite surprised. You see there's so much greenery, the coral and the animal is thriving. Semakau is very beautiful. It's like Singapore private garden. If we don't generate waste, we do not need a landfill like Semakau. But it's not possible for any city not to generate any waste. But what we can do is that we reduce our waste. Personally, I will do whatever I can to reduce the waste by recycling. I do ever try composting using things like coffee powder, tea leaf. My family always think that I, a rubbish man. And when I come to Semakau, they were amazed at the biodiversity. After the visit here, they are more appreciative of the job I do. My concern is that Semakau can only last until 2035. The best time to do something about it is now. We have a lot last until 2035.
So you notice another 12 more years. You're 12 years old, right? So another cycle. 2035, this estimated time where this whole landfill will be used.
35. The best time to do something about it is now. We have a lot of visitors. A lot of them say that individually I cannot contribute much. But I always tell them everybody must do their part. They should contribute to recycling to ensure that Semakau can last longer.
Okay, so we have seen this landfill. Now we come back to the questions of this here. Okay, let me see if there are any questions. Okay, the coral looks scary. Okay, indeed. So actually they are quite beautiful. Yeah, you watched this before, very good. Okay, barge is actually the ship that transfer the waste. Okay, barge. Okay, yeah, very good. You watched in Chinese class, very good. Okay, so the Semakau Island, Singapore government uses this because on the mainland, land is very precious. So the advantage is it free up space for other more important land use. Okay, next, the disadvantage of incineration, because poisonous gas may be produced. Of course, in Singapore, we know that we control very strictly. That's why we minimize any toxic gases or harmful gases. Okay, so you can put here harmful or poisonous. Harmful or poisonous gases may be produced when waste are burnt. Okay, next, suggest one action that will reduce the need for waste disposal. Okay, just now in the interview, the person managed to reduce waste, right? You can recycle. So any possible answer, we can talk about recycle waste or reuse, recycling, recycle material, or you can reuse materials. Okay, any of this possible answer. Okay. Next question, number 16. Okay, recycling you can put recycling. Okay, the first MCQ, I'll just roll back. Someone asked me, can I have the first MCQ answer? First MCQ answer is 2. Okay, 2. And then next is 2, 4, 1. 2, 4, 1. 2, 4. Okay, 2, 2, 4, 1. 2, 2, 4, 1. Okay, 2241. Okay, next. Coming back to this, okay, this is an interesting question. You say that, okay, I want to highlight this part. The purpose or the aim of the experiment, you can highlight here or annotate, is to find out the effect of pollutant X on aquatic life. So the retail is pollutant. Okay, so there are these 3 water sample, K, L, and M. Okay, I circle this because this shows the number of fish that remain alive. That's been in a sample L, right, is most polluted because only 1 fish alive after 3 days. So in this table, because you're instructed to do 2 things, some students miss out this part. Complete the bar graph. They only draw 1, right? This part. Yeah. So only 1 has been drawn, this part. So you have to draw the other one, the K and the M. So use pencil and ruler to draw the rectangular box. They should be of same width, okay, of same width. So because I'm using freehand, but I expect you to use ruler and pencil to draw this. And this side is a water sample. Okay, so you should have this one here, amount of pollutant X, water sample, and then 2 rectangular vertical bar graph. Okay, then you have to state how the amount of pollutant X affect aquatic. So you can see the relationship, right? The greater the amount of pollutant X, the lesser the aquatic life. So you mentioned as the amount of pollutant X increase, okay, bring the word, as the amount of pollutant X increases, the number of aquatic life decreases. Okay, pollutant X is found in the smoke released in the factory. Explain how smoke can harm crops. Okay, this one I give you a hint here, acid rain. So you take a look at this while I prepare another video on acid rain to show you this part. Okay, so just hang on and let me pause this for a while for the next video.